Hey guys, welcome back to Snake Limited. I'm John, and today I kind of wanted to show you some of the redesign that I'm doing here in the snake room. Again, sorry for the mess and sorry that I look disheveled because I've been building PVC enclosures and sweating my butt off down here all day. But Reptile Basics finally got their 4x2s back in stock. I think they have 12-inch tall, 15 and 18-inch tall ones. I already owned, I think, 4x2 by 12s. I had two of them on a different shelving rack that had radiant heat panels in them, so they're not actually in the snake room because the radiant heat panels do a good job of keeping the whole entire enclosure warm. It gives you a hot spot, plus it keeps everything else at a nice temperature. These ones are going to go into the snake room so that I don't need to pay for the expensive radiant heat panels. So I wanted to show you guys what I did instead of spending $100+ on a heat panel. Alright, as you can see here, I have this whole thing under construction. To be honest, I actually bought these to begin with because I thought they would stack with the 4x2s I had. Unfortunately, they don't. I guess Reptile Basics or Vivarium Electronics, they changed the way that their 4x2s stack. They actually have these little recesses here, and the bottoms of them have these little feet. And that's how they stack now, whereas before there used to be sort of like a circular indentation here, and they gave you like a PVC puck, and you put it there, and there's one on each corner, and you stack them that way. They don't do it like that anymore, so I couldn't stack them with the ones I currently had, so I just decided to buy 4 of the new style, and I also bought the pedestal that they cart around on. It just gives it a cleaner look. It looks really nice, and it will once I get them all put together and put everything in there. But, you know, previously, if you have PVC enclosures and you don't have an actual snake room and the snakes are just somewhere else in the side of your house, you would have to buy a radiant heat panel to really keep these warm. It would attach to the top of your PVC enclosure, and it gives you the hot spot right here, but it also supplies enough heat to keep everything a little warmer than room temperature. Since we're in the snake room, and the snake room is always between 75 and 80 degrees on any given day, I don't really need to worry about the ambient air temperature for any of the snakes that I'm keeping in these enclosures. So, when you're buying these from Reptile Basics, they actually sell these ginormous heat tapes that they have cut up. They have adhesive double-sided tape already on them. There's a strip here, strip here, strip here, and a strip in the middle and along the back. They're prefabbed, they're already connected, they have the power cord, and they fit into the cutout, as you can see here on the bottom of the enclosure, perfect. So I have my thermostat probe already taped up there. All you have to do is take that huge piece of heat tape and stick it up on the underside of the enclosure. Now this is a 4x2. I think this is maybe 21 by 18, or I think that's how they measured it out. So it actually does fit perfectly here inside of this, and try not to touch this too much because I already took the tape off. But you know, if that gives you a good example of what it looks like, that's it. So that covers, you know, roughly half of the 4x2. Now, this is a perfect way to provide a hot spot without having to have a super high wattage radiant heat panel running all the time. Those heat panels, I mean, you can buy them from Reptile Basics, the Vivarium Electronic ones. You know, they range from 40, 80, 120 watts. I know Pro Heat, the Pro Heat panels, I actually have 2 of them on my other ones. Theirs, I think, are a little more expensive than the Vivarium Electronics ones, but I think they come with a better warranty, and I think they're a little more reliable. But those are going to be hundreds of dollars. These pieces of heat tape that are pre-made with the double-sided tape and with the power cord attached, I think it was $20 for this. And this is going to cover half of the enclosure. It's going to give you belly heat, and you can crank that up to wherever you need it to be. So the ambient air temperature in this room is 75 to 80. I can crank that to 95 if I want to. And it's going to give a good amount of space for a big snake to you know, lay down there and get the heat they need. So these Reptile Basics enclosures, when I first bought them, they actually came pre-built. You do have to build these now. It's not super difficult. I mean, you have to even assemble the plexiglass windows. You have to put these the locks on. You need to, you know, put all these nuts in place, put on the hinges. You need to, you know, put all these little PVC screws in everywhere. I don't know, maybe it takes 30-45 minutes to assemble it. It's not very difficult. Anybody can do it. It's a lot easier than having to build some ARS racks. So they come flat packed. I believe these are around $300, $320 a piece. They're not the cheapest ones on the market. If I would have known they didn't stack with my previous ones that I owned, I may have maybe looked for a different solution. But once I got them here, it was a little too late. I don't know if I didn't realize they didn't stack, or if it wasn't really notified anywhere on the site that, hey, these don't stack with the old versions. Because I bought the old ones probably 3-4 years ago, maybe. You know, I just bought these now in the beginning of 2023. But they're built exactly the same. I didn't have any issues with anything being broken. This bottom one down here, it had like a chip out of the corner here and out of one of the back corners, which kind of sucked. The other thing you have to do with these is you need to waterproof them, and they tell you which kind of caulk that they recommend. So I've actually bought that off Amazon for $10, and I was able to do all 4 of these with that one bottle of caulk for $10. So that's not a big deal either, but that is something you will have to do, especially if you're keeping a species in here where you need to keep it a little more humid, or you don't want any liquids to run down from one to the other one if you're stacking them. They did tell me that I can stack 4 of these probably safely on top of the stacker, you know, dependent on what sort of animals you have in there and how much weight there is. I actually don't really know if I have anything planned to put in here right now. I was going to buy an older Mexican black king snake to put in there. I was going to purchase a Honduran milk snake to put in there. These are going to be more like pet animals. But I ended up purchasing hatchlings, or at least younger ones. So right now, I don't even know if anything's going in here. I might... Yeah, I don't think anything that I have planned at this moment, but I wanted to have it built and ready so that I wasn't kind of caught off guard if something else did end up coming into the snake room that I wanted to put these in. Now the other downside to these, as opposed to how they used to come, is they also used to come with LED lighting and it's pre-installed. I'm going to spin here because of the lighting. The LED lighting used to come pre-installed as well. That does not come with these either. I think the LED light panels are $20, but then you also had to buy the power cord separately from the LED light panel, and that was like 30 or 40 bucks. So you're spending 60 bucks, and those are just LED. They're not UVB. They're just LED light strips. So when it's all said and done, you're buying the enclosure for $320. They ship for free. If you want a light in there, you're spending 60, 70 bucks. If you need the heat tape, you're spending... So these are going to run you $400 just for the enclosure, the heat, and LED lighting. That's not terrible. I know some companies, when I've priced them out, as soon as you go adding things like a light strip and heat, it actually jumps up a lot higher. Reptile Basics, I think, does a good job with these... the heat tape and not overpricing it. It's kind of just almost like a complimentary thing they do, where it's like priced nice. They're not price gouging you. They're pre-making it, and you're not paying a ton of money for it. So $20 for that big piece of heat tape to me isn't bad, because I would have had to buy a whole roll separately and have to configure it. I just wanted it ready to go. I didn't want to have to punch the holes in it and attach the power cord and everything. And that's a big sheet too. I didn't want to have to buy a whole big roll of it and then, really probably never have another use for it. So, if you do buy these from Reptile Basics, you will have to build it. You will need to buy the heat. If you want lighting, you will need to buy the lighting. You will need to seal them if you're worried about it being waterproofed. Again, from what they told me, I can stack 4 high, so that's what I have. I already have 2 here. That's the pedestal. I have 2 here, so this is a 15 high, 15 high, 15 high, and 12 high. They're going to be underneath this I-beam here, so I wanted to make sure they all fit. But I just kind of wanted to show you guys really the cool way. Now these are kind of hard to find, these heat tapes on their website. I think they're only listed, this big size that are pre-cut, on the page where they list the 4x2s. I actually went to go look under the heat tape, and they have this width heat tape, but it's not the pre-cut stuff. It's just the rolls of it. So the pre-cut stuff, I found it on the actual page where it lists where the 4x2s are. Again, 20 bucks, I believe, which was a pretty good deal. So that's it. You know, I'm finishing building those. I actually have a new incubator coming tomorrow, which I'll have another video about. But we're making a lot of changes here. I'll give you kind of a quick glimpse of kind of how everything is kind of shaping up here. I actually just got done rearranging the rat racks too, so I have more space on this wall, so I can fit the 4x2s in the incubators. And then I'll have another little bit of free space here next to where the Tegu is at. But that's the way the room is shaping up right now, and I'll give you guys another update once that incubator comes in. Thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.